Ladies and gentlemen, I am Bacter, and welcome to this Let's Play of Else Heart.Break, a weird game, a very interesting game, a very different kind of game. I genuinely can't even tell you if it's good, but I knew it was weird and wonderful, and I knew that I wanted to do a Let's Play of it. I also, this is a first for me, have not actually finished the game. I'm going to be doing a blind Let's Play. I played until about an hour and a half to 2 hours in, at which point the kind of game that it is just suddenly and drastically changes, which seems weird to me. I'm going to lower the text speed down a bit for just greater readability, and I just want you to experience this with me. The graphics are obviously unique, very blocky. Just to prime the pumps a little bit, I'd say this reminds me a bit of an old game called Relentless Twin Sins Adventure combined with like Shenmue, which is a weird thing, but then again, that's all out the window. Like 2 hours in, which is a long time to wait for a game to completely pull the rug out from under you. Let's get going. Let's roll. We're gonna do this in English instead of Swedish, though you can switch between the two at any time, we are informed. I would love if somebody who spoke Swedish was able to, like, if you can speak Swedish, I will buy you a copy of this game if you will play it through in Swedish and tell me what the dialogue sounds like, because to me, one of the ways that I could describe the early parts of this game, at least, are is being dreamlike. It's the dialogue and the interactions and the directions you have are kind of loose and flowing and drifting, and it actually made me quite anxious the first time I played it. I played this like 2 or 3 times before I was able to get a grip on the story. And I just wonder about those interactions. By the way, this is the longest loading screen in the game. It's not going to. This is like 10 times longer than any other. But yeah, I just would love to know, like, is some of that awkwardness because it was translated, or is it meant to be that way? Nevertheless, the curtain opens. I'm sorry to say we are dressed like an idiot, and most people in the game are, except our dad who rules. Look at that windbreaker. So this is some kind of birthday for us. Kind of a, it seems like a squalid apartment. Not squalid, kind of dingy, but fine. Certainly, we're no Rockefellers. We're no rich people. And our name is Sebastian. You can demand to be called Seb, but I am going to be a nice young man, as I like to do in games. And I also will go with the formal Sebastian. Nothing I can do about the orange head scarf or cool kid gear. I don't know, man. Maybe this is Nordic fashion. I also like the table for five with just the three of us. And the family squabbles about things that could not possibly matter less. Right? Who will answer the phone? It's fine. I'll answer it, is what I would truly say. So, here we go. I'll get it, Mother. Dunked on pretty hard by our dad there. Right. I think so let's talk about the interface. You can rotate the camera, you can zoom in and out. It's pretty easy. If you mouse over something which is important, it just tells you which buttons to click. Yep, I know what to do, game. Thank you. Once you pick it up, you can do various things with it over here. So let's answer the telephone. Yes. See, like, you can prefer Seb, but no, I am Sebastian. And here we have our inciting incident. Aw, yeah, a 3-month probationary soda salesman. Oh, we're off to a roaring start. Obviously, we are a teen who's going places. Also, we have no proper qualifications. What are the qualifications for probationary soda salesman? That's good. Why does nobody want the job? Lovely. Notice we have like 560 bucks. Not sure how far that's gonna go, but huh, all right. Yeah, let's inquire about the terms. Sure, it's one of those hotels that might give you a continental breakfast, and that's all they're paying for. Uh, yeah. Don't want to be too eager. Dorisburg. I, Bacter, am not familiar with Doris. Well, I am, but I, Sebastian, am not, so let's just say, yeah, maybe I've heard of Dorisburg. It seems vague. If you say you've never heard of it, he's like, yeah, nobody has. I don't know about it. Folks, we are, of course, going to accept the call. So, yeah, let's roll. Probationary soda sales. That's the life for us. Not exactly explosions and high-speed chases, but, you know, it gets us moving. It sort of sets the tone for the pace of the early game. Just lots of dialogue that's like, okay. Going there by boat. And we'll be at the Devotchka Hotel, which sounds Russian to me, or at least some kind of Slavic something. Devotchka. Dorisburg doesn't sound that way to me. That sounds English, I suppose. So this could be one of those mashups of culture. Notice the time going up here, by the way. Uh, Time moves very quickly in this game. We're on a 24-hour cycle, as you might expect, and yeah, a ship. And managing time was one of the things that really stressed me out when I've tried to play this game for the first time. We'll see when we get there, but Dorisburg is a big and confusing place, and you know, the leads that we've been given so far are go to Dorisburg and stay at the Hotel Devotchka. Um, I also hope so. I wonder if that clock in the background is meant to clue us in that we ought to be looking at the time. Because, again, time management is an important thing here. Alright. Well, we've got our inciting incident. It's sales for us from now on, baby. Now, look, you can also interact with the environment. Let's steal some booze from the family. You can drink it. I'm going to put it into my bag for now. A bag you carry with you. This has a lot of inventory slots. But that's just sort of our inventory management. It will run out, so just don't pick up everything. Alright, Dad. Happy my birthday, Dad. I'm sure Mambushka is going to be really happy that we got a job. Anything to get me out of the house, probably, right? I mean, look at me. Oh, I look terrible. I don't know Nordic fashion, but I bet this ain't it. Yep. Catch a ship tomorrow morning. I wonder if I sleep much normally. I do happen to know that I'm not like a hacker or an anarchist or anything. I don't think here in the city. I think I probably just like, music and teen stuff or whatever. But I'm a good son, so I'll thank her for the cake, which is still lit and uncut, by the way. So that's a lie. Go to bed. You can say you're going to do homework, but there's no homework to do, so I don't know why I'd lie to my mom like that. The graphics and the sound design are really interesting in this game. Um, I'm leaving, Dad. So, bye. Catch you on the flippity flop. Dorisburg? Why is that a problem? Alright. Alright, Pops. The... What are you watching? Dad, that's a skull shooting a gun. I don't think that's that funny. I could turn it off and be a jerk, but he just goes, turn that back on. Just to show that you can interact with the environment and people notice about it. Anyway, the pitch for the game says it's a tale of love and friendship and parties or something. I don't know. There's not a lot of parties. Love and friendship and betrayal, and in a city where pixels have replaced atoms. I don't know if that includes like this. I don't know if the whole world's that way or just Dorisburg is, but things are weird in Dorisburg, as you will see soon. Let me just sit down at my desk here. It looks like I like crossword puzzles, I guess, and old VHS containers. I guess that's about all. Again, the time is advancing, and you'll see this later, but it does behoove you to get to sleep at a reasonable hour, just because you can't sleep for like 2 hours. You have to take it in chunks, and so if you go to sleep too late, you'll miss a reasonable part of the day. If you stay awake too late, you just pass right out on the street, and then while you do get sleep, you wake up stinky. So, thanks, Eric Svendang. I think is that how you pronounce that? And Tobias Jogren. It seems like a small little development studio. The graphics here in particular are the ones that kind of remind me of that old Relentless Twinson's Adventure, which is a game I loved very much as a kid, although I wasn't terrifically good at it. And here we approach Dorisburg. It's very, linear. There's a lot of lines in there. You may notice that L's Heart.Break parentheses is structured like a line of code if you're a programmer of any sort yourself. This is a statement that basically says, if the thing that I've already talked about beforehand doesn't happen, then I want you to take the object heart and run run the function break. So it seems like a bad thing. No, don't sleep, Sebastian, get up. I'm furious at you. So here we are in our little steamer area here. There's an empty Coke and a full Coke, and I am going to pick up the full Coke. Because that's not for any particular reason. I just want some booze and some Coke in case I want to make a mixer. I could try to open all these doors, but I'll save you some time and tell you that they're all locked. Take in the graphics, because the graphics are really a high point of this game for me. I'm not actually saying they're my favorite ever, and actually, the interface can be a bit clunky. It took me a while before I realized how to work the camera controls, and then it was terrible. But they're certainly interesting. And as I say, the dialogue certainly achieves that too. It's very dreamlike again. So here I am, fresh off the boat. How are these guys doing? What's going on? Who are you? Hi. Where's the hotel? He's stinky, by the way. That's what these little dots are. I think they're supposed to be flies or something. Indeed, there is a tourist office over there. Looks like we got some computers running here in the back. Did you not see me just walk off the boat there? Yeah, I think you did see me disembark. Sorry, I wanted to show that, but I got swallowed up in a, getting dive-bombed by birds. Terrible. Let's say it took several days. I can make my own reality here. I'm going to accept this not because I want Sebastian to be a smoker, but because I happen to know that later on there's a use for a smoke, and in my first playthrough I accepted it just as a matter of course. So I'm going to try to do things basically the same way that I did them in my first playthrough, with one modification later that I'll tell you about. Let's see what's going on with these computers. Taking humidity samples. That's cool. There are an absolute ton of computers all over Dorisburg. Hey, buddy. Nice jacket. I like your jacket. I don't know that I backed or do, but let's say Sebastian does. Lots of little conversations you can get into with people. Like this guy, he's a utility worker of some kind. Good afternoon, I guess. Notice it's also okay. It's also like 8 o'clock at night already, so we should probably be headed on. I'm just kind of trying to finish off this conversation. You cannot break off a conversation in the middle of it. Um, yeah, all right. I agree with you. So you have to see it through all the way. All right, let's get out of here. Put my cigarette away. I don't want to accidentally smoke it. And there's a run, of course. Double-clicking just kind of makes you... You don't run because Sebastian isn't that dynamic of a guy, but you can tromp around. Gotta go get my pizza. I'm back. All right. Hi, lady. Not quite the person you probably want working at a tourist info station, is there? So navigating Dorisburg is one of those sort of early game challenges. Looks like there's two hotels, the Grand Crystal Star and the Devotchka. Of those two, the Grand Crystal Star maybe sounds a little fancier, but the Devotchka is the one we want, of course. The soundtrack is really pretty good in this game. It's a lot of very interesting music, and I like it in the background. Follow the water, then left. It's really easy to find the hotel. I actually got turned around my first time, but just because I started to overthink things. Again, it's getting on towards midnight, so we'll want to be picking up feet and getting there. Also, they work late at this tourist office. Grab a map. Indeed, that is a good idea, because if we have a map, we don't even need to have it in our hand, as long as it's in the bag, that we can always pull it out. So we're here, and we need to go here, the Hotel Devotchka. Not bad at all. But first, let's make a friend. Who are you? You can see it, like, this is the kind of dialogue I mean. Like, lots of riffraff lurking around outside. What are you talking about? I'm just gonna say hi to Victoria. Alright, let's use this computer here. Oh, Dorisburg Pedestrian OS. How do I get to Devotchka? Look at that, tourist office, harbor east, and hotel exterior. Fair enough. Gives me little walking directions. Something to remember for later. Let's just keep track of the computers, knowing as we do that this is a game which is going to incorporate programming at some point. It rains quite a bit in Dorisburg, so that's something to get used to. It makes you less smelly if you're outside in the rain, though, which is nice. There's trash cans, which don't really do anything. And a little bit of exploration, again, just because I did this on my first playthrough. I went through this door and saw that there was just lots and lots more apartments and that time was progressing, but I did find this renting apartment key, and I thought that might be handy to have. And I also found this disc on the floor, and then I interacted with this computer over here, and found that it was a floppy data reader, so if you have equipped a floppy disk, it will, read whatever's on it. So either have a routine or drink a lot of coffee. That's basically saying you get sleepy if you don't sleep or drink coffee. You can, I'm pretty sure, just drink coffee forever and not sleep, and I think it's fine. You know, Sebastian's young. Poke around. You can sleep anywhere as long as it's not an owned bed. That's a good tip. And they just sort of clue you in that maybe you don't need to exactly do what everybody tells you. And sometimes they lock the door behind the reception desk. An interesting point. I actually have never seen them to not lock that door, but we will certainly get to that later. let's get ourselves over to Devotchka. It's up this way. This is the bridge, by the way, that they told us not to cross over here. And here's a grizzled homeless man who wants a beer. Well, no, sorry. I've got booze, but I happen to know that... Alright, steady on. I happen to know that he doesn't accept booze. He's only a beer man. It may seem like the rain comes and goes, but keep in mind, it's been raining for like an hour or something. In my main playthrough, I just walked in here again to explore and see what's up, and, you know, met this guy with the bellhop hat on. And I guess I'm assuming he works at the hotel, even though fashion being what it is, again. Close. If I turned up the text speed, I could actually squeeze more out of a day, because, right, these conversations would be going so much faster, but, yeah, I'm Sebastian, not Seb, thanks. But I wanted to, you know, make it readable for people. Anyway, if you say nice place, he just goes, thanks. What's the river? I want to know about the river. It's the Fool. That's nice. River on an island. When's the leg working? It's 12:03. That's fine. You know, I just have to get to bed at some reasonable amount of time. I could ask him more. Like, I could ask him what he does at the hotel, or what all of this equipment is for that he seems to have in his room, but, you know, forget all that. Lots to see. I'm gonna get going. Thanks for your time, pal. Laters. Yeah. Look, this guy's got sprack manuals all over the place. And that is the real reason that even though I did this the first time, I might not have kept it necessarily, but he's got all kinds of stuff in here. He doesn't seem to mind. He's cool. We can take his sprack manuals, we can take his screwdriver. You never know when it might be useful to have these things. Last thing. This is why I came in here in the first place. I noticed this out on his back, Nope, just put it in the bag. I noticed this on his balcony. I don't know that I would trust that if I lived here. Maybe I would. Maybe if I had a lot of confidence in the architects or something. But boy, if that thing fails, you are taking a dive right into the Fool. That wouldn't be so good. Alright, so I'm gonna get a beer for this guy at some point. Yeah, I will, but just not now. Sorry, man. It's late. If you saw that sign, this is the Devotchka. We are behind schedule. Let's talk to this person here. Hello. Is this Devotchka? I say, the sign outside saying Devotchka. I think this is a lady. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm supposed to stay here. My name is Sebastian. Now, this is a place where, using my secret future knowledge, I could actually jump ahead about 2 hours in the game, but I'm choosing not to, for the sake of, again, doing things the way that I did on my first playthrough. So, also, I thought they were going to pay for my hotel visit? I didn't think I would be spending $500? Ah, yes, I see. A security deposit. What do you mean, where'd you put it? It's in your bag, you dope. So, that wipes out most of my money right away. Alright. I do have a question, actually. One thing. First off, Who are you? And once you learn people's names, it does replace their name, which is nice. That's Bobsia. I think that's how you pronounce that. Bobsia? That didn't sound necessarily Russian to me, but Polish it is, I suppose. That's fine. One last thing. I know it's getting along in time, so I'm sorry for that. What's there to do in the city? I know which room mine is, and I don't care to have her explain to me that mine is room 1. She'll give me my key. It'll just say key to room 1. Yep, that's probably a fair bet. I imagine the bars are well populated. You know any good ones? Okay, girl's name on the sign. Good to know. Be looking out for a girl's name on the sign. That actually is a gameplay story hint, so that's why I went for it. No further questions. Thanks, Bobsy. I like the hotel. You know, I've said this before, and I'm sure I will say it again, but the visual design, it, like, obviously put a ton of work into it, and, yes, please, the key. I just really appreciate it. I try to go for an up-top view. Room number 1. Through the dining hall. Thanks. Hotel regulations. Got it. I could pick those up, but I kind of want to conserve inventory space, and the hotel regulations are, like, don't smoke in your room, don't destroy hotel property, don't be a real jerk. Upstairs back there are some suites which are owned by, I think Bobsia lives in one of those, and maybe one of the other hotel workers lives in another one. You have to go through the diner with the smoking fountain. We'll be back here for breakfast, of course, but we need to get our bad selves to bed. Having been a person who's been on a few business trips myself, I can actually relate to the stress of, like, needing to get in and get yourself ready in time to get up and do something the next day. Okay. This is apparently a bathroom and not a room. I like that there's little toothbrushes there. Yes, you do. Maybe our room is through here and you have to walk through a bathroom to get to it. Nope, this is just Bluffar. Alright, I think we probably better talk to old Bopsia about this. Everything is just going wrong on this trip. I mean, not everything exactly, but imagine, by the way, if, like me, you were easily distracted, didn't move the camera well, and you, like, got lost and started to wander the city on your first night, which is completely allowable. That little floppy was not wrong. Like, they do not railroad you at all in this game. Which is nice, but again, for me, kind of stressful. Excuse me. My room is a bathroom, please. My room is a bathroom. I don't know how much more clear I can be on that subject. What? Yeah, here's the first little peek we have into things working kind of oddly in Dorisburg. Also, it's like 3:30 in the morning, so if you could please call somebody, I'd like to at least get like 4 hours of sleep. So, I agree, it is all very troubling. Yes, I see. Well, I think I will. Actually, while I wait, let me try this computer. Enter command guest. Sebastian. Sebastian is a guest. Lovely. How about, Bubsia? Not a guest. Go figure. Just waiting in the old lobby. What kind of style would you call this? I don't really know. It's definitely got some, like, old world touches to it. The floor is obviously in terrible shape. But it kind of doesn't... It used to be a grand hotel. I don't know. And hey, we know this guy, and he's apparently got some kind of a vacuum tube having circuit board. Well, he's coming with us. I mean, I wouldn't like to be woken from my bed at 3:30 in the morning, at 4:10 at this point either. I grant you, but we do kind of need to get in. Note that you can throw things away in a trash can if you want. Um, please don't throw away important things. You actually can't get them out afterwards. What? Here he goes. He's gonna turn into looks like one of those pictures of Buddhas or something. Hey, uh, now this is, and again, another place where the game is a bit odd. My question wouldn't either be hello or did you fix my door. My question would be like, what was that? What did you do? How did you make my door smashing? How did you make my door work by doing that? All right, thanks, pal. And indeed, our door now... ooh, I didn't mean to click on it again. Our door now takes us to our apartment, which is great. Just in time for 5 o'clock in the morning. This is not as good as you can do, keep in mind, but like, you know, I didn't do a whole lot of extra stuff. Oh, I don't want the renting apartment's key. I instead want... where's my key? Here we go, key room 1, thank goodness. Just for safety, gonna lock it. It doesn't matter if you do. I just... force of habit. Alright, let's get a little rest at least. Maybe I can get 4 hours in or something.